Is it possible to master a beat using only the built-in effects in Logic Pro 11? Let's find out. Here's the beat. This is really raw. It's nothing, there's no particular processing going on here. No bus compression, no compression on the stems or the subgroups or anything. It's raw. So the mastering job here is more than just applying a limiter and calling it a day. It needs to be reined in dynamics wise. So what I first tend to do is to load up an EQ. I'll just take a section here. Let's take the loudest section. This is where the chorus is. So I'll go here. Now it seems that it's really bass heavy, and it should be because there's no vocals here. So in beats like this, there's left space for vocals. So it's important not to overcharge the mid-range and the upper mid-range frequencies from 300 up until 4, 5, 6K should be left for vocals, because in this genre, vocals are the key feature. I'll take a node like this. I'll try it out across the frequency spectrum and see if I find anywhere in the frequencies where I want to cut or boost. Not to brag, but I really like this bass line. It consists of two separate bass parts, one for texture and one for sub, and I really think it's fat. I'm proud of it. You can't say that you're proud of your own stuff. It's okay. I am. I want to enhance the 40-50 range area because I love it so much. Let's continue with the boosting and the cutting. Some harshness right here. I'll cut that a little. Next band. Some tendencies right here in the 6K. Boost this and get it brighter, cut it and get it a bit darker. I prefer it a bit brighter maybe, because the hi-hats here are not that typical trap hi-hats, which are really present in the 10 to 20K area. They are more in the 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can boost here without causing harsh hi-hats. Okay, now listen to the EQ with and without. Without first, let's go. I think we've improved it a bit. It sounds a bit fatter and a bit smoother. Next up, we'll apply some compression. I'll use the Logic compressor right here, and I'll opt in for the vintage VCA, which is sort of like a recreation of the standard, the typical SSL bus compressor, the G bus. And I'll do some standard settings such as like 30 milliseconds of attack, because we want a slow attack to let the transients through. A bit faster release, but not too fast so that it distorts. Turn off auto gain. Let's go into the extreme and see what happens. You hear how much it distorts? When I take down the release, it distorts. Listen. So I'll take it up a bit slower release. I like to have the release where it's at the point of distortion, but not really distorting. Okay, the ratio is fine. It can be there too. Okay. Hear how the transits are being swallowed, so a slow attack is needed. So it pulsates with the beat. Typically it's advised to go about a decibel or two with the bus compressor, but I'm not afraid of janking it up even more if it sounds good. Okay, let's listen with and without. Without first. Now Now we have some EQ, some compression. Now let's add a bit of a vibe. We'll use the Chroma Glow. This is Logic's new saturation tool, and you can check out a review I did right here, up there somewhere. I didn't like what it did with the lower mids. Let's go up here, 560. Yeah, I think I like that. Okay, let's listen with and without first. I think you would agree that it sounds a bit fuller. So far so good. And you see we're in a good place when it comes to peak gain. So we're at minus 5.3, and that's a good ballpark to be in. Anywhere between -1 and 6 is good. I prefer 3 to 6. Let's start with a limiter. Try the adaptive limiter. We can go soft limit on this one. So a bit of a gain reduction without it sounding limited. Okay, let's go with another limiter. So we're doing this in series to make it more transparent. Let's go with the output at -1. Now let's check on the metering where we are at. Load up the multimeter. Now let's see how we are when it comes to RMS and LUFS and all that good stuff, and mono compatibility and the correlation. And yeah, of course we could have pushed this even further. That would have meant doing more compression and limiting down in the mix, but I can't press it even further. Let's just see how far we can push it. And when it comes to loudness, because I don't want it to sound softer than other beats in the space. It's a very cool beat, so it needs to sound very cool. Of course, the quality suffers. You probably heard it, but what if I insert a clipper between these two? Let's see, distortion. And no, in fact, I'm gonna use another tool here, which I love to use, which is the Fat Effects. And I'm just gonna turn off everything except the distortion section right here. So we're nearing net spend area. I don't want that really distorted sound, but we can do some soft saturation right here. And then the final limiter, what's happening here? One thing that the Fat Effects doesn't have is the ability to low pass, for example, the sound of the distortion section. So that's quite a disadvantage. So let's mute that one and load up another Chroma Glow, and we'll spare the bass while bypassing. And let's go with some squeeze, hard press. This is a clipper right here. But to be fair, normally you see the RMS is going up to 5.3, minus 5.3. LUFS is -8, and that's like without vocals. That's really loud, I think, in this for this particular beat. But you don't need that much. So when it all comes down to it, like this. So this is more than enough. You don't need to forcefully pull it down all the way to -8, -7, -6. You don't need it. If it sounds good, it sounds good. And as long as it packs a bit of a punch, what you can do is, of course, use some references and see if your beat sounds weak and thin. But I think we have a quite thick sounding soundscape right here. Now let's do another thing right at the very end. Let me just make a new track right here, and I'll drag a copy of this one right down here. I'll do the AI mastering in Logic. Now let's listen to this. Now we have the same volume, more or less, particularly according to the LUFS. So what Logic did here was actually to turn down a lot of bass and boost a lot of low upper mids. I mean, you see here, this is where the vocals is supposed to be, and what happens here is that Logic thinks that it should be vocals because that's what it's tuned in for, but since this is a beat, you get the wrong impression sort of. So we will have to flatten down the curve right here a bit, turn it a little like this, because it sounds really corny actually like that, but I'll turn it down the audio EQ a bit. Now we're more in the correct ballpark because Logic couldn't know better, of course. You know, what do AI know? Let's listen with and without. It's quite good actually. Is it as good as mine? I don't know. Oh, I know which one I like. You know which one you like. Let me know in the comments down below. And if you like videos like these where I go through mastering setups like this, check out this video and I hope I see you there. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out.